Today, though, it's Cliftonville against Glentoran, and alongside me, two men making their debuts as Cup Final pundits. They are former Glentoran playmaker Scott Young, who had to retire, sadly, because of injury, and a man who knows no pain at all, former Cliftonville midfielder Pat McAllister, currently plying his trade at Donegal Celtic. Welcome, gentlemen. You'd rather be playing, the both of you, wouldn't you?
We'd rather be playing, but this is a nice wee surprise.
Yeah. How are you feeling after having to retire?
Good, Jack. Obviously, you know, nothing takes away from playing football, you know, and it broke my heart in many ways that I had to give the game up, but, you know, thankfully...
Three broken legs, not
Three
good.
Broken legs, yeah, but, you know, thankfully the football club, you know, they've decided to keep me on board, and they brought me on the backroom set-up, you know, helping reserves with, you know, George Bowden and Johnny Jameson, and when they're not playing, I'll help with the first team, and it's lovely to be kept involved with the football club.
And Pat, this is the makings of a good final.
It has, Jackie. Both teams are in fantastic form. The atmosphere is building, and I see no reason why there shouldn't be a few goals in today's game.
And a nice added twist is the fact that both managers are looking for their first trophy as the boss.
They are, and obviously from Glentoran's point of view, you know, Paul, he's desperate to get his hands on that first trophy, and it's a big game, but equally this is a big game for Eddie Patterson, you know, and I'm glad that, you know, the IFA have came to common sense and allowed them to work the team out, but from Glentoran's point of view, I want to see a Glentoran win.
Yeah, you're not biased at all.
No bias, Jack.
Okay, we'll talk some more, gentlemen, but both sides have been in tremendous form this season. In fact, both have suffered just one defeat in 20 games. Pretty good. And here's a flavour of how they reached today's CIS shootout. The Cliftonville side now, and disappointment really. The big change there is Davy McAlinden is back in the back four, and Barry Holland, the man who got the goal in the semi-final, disappointment for him.
He'd be disappointed, Jackie, because as you say, he scored the win in the semi-final. But I think the reason is that they brought big Davy McAlinden back is that Cliftonville are a fairly small side, and the Glens are very dangerous to set pieces, and there's no better man defending set pieces than Davy McAlinden. Plus he's always usually to pop up for a goal, so I think that's the reason why the young lad's been left out.
Okay, well, the teams are on their way out, but Scott, quick look at Glentoran, a big blow for them. We can do this very quickly. Yep. There's no Lockhart in midfield.
There's no Dan Lockhart, and it's a big blow for the club. He's so industrious, running forward, getting on the end of things, but, you know, I see they were so strong at the back, were so strong up front, but as Pat says, midfield is going to be a battle.
Okay, those are the teams. Cliftonville against Glentoran. Gary Smith there, you can see. There'll be a few nerves, but there's Hamilton with his trademark black gloves. Michael Halliday, is that his young son with him? I'm not so sure, but as you can see, the atmosphere building.
Well,
a little bit
this
after.
is interesting.
Yeah, a little bit after.
Referee's very close. Colin Finney's dragged away, but it was what happened to Conor Downey when he was lying on the ground as Willow McDonagh walked away that'll interest the referee most here.
Yeah, Willow McDonagh has kicked him on the floor, stood on top of him. Don't know if the referee has seen it or not.
Well, he's told Downey to get up. He obviously thinks he's making too much of it. He wants to speak to Downey, does he? No, he wants to speak to Declan O'Hara. Or it's David McAlinden, not Declan O'Hara.
I think Willow's a lucky boy, he's got away with this.
Yes, and Downey's back on his feet. He doesn't need treatment. So everybody gets off scot-free. What do you make of this, Stephen?
I think it was really just something and nothing, it was really the afters, there was nothing in the initial challenge.
Colin Finney's challenge was
that's the nasty one.
That's
there.
The one there.
He stood on him walking away, but that's a bad challenge.
Well,
that's the one.
That's a red card. On another day, you would say that is a red card. Flag is stayed down. Hamilton could be in here. Goalkeeper's missed the ball. Great chance for Hamilton. Hitman Hamilton strikes again. 17th goal of the season, and he's saved one for the big occasion.
That's a big ball. It's been knocked up in there into the hole, and Hamilton again doesn't let anything go. He's got 2 or 3 Cliftonville players around him. They've made a mistake, and that man pounces on everything. So it's a great finish, and goal comes out of nothing.
There's the long ball you're talking about, Stephen. It's defensive suicide, isn't it? The goalkeeper does his best, and once it comes off Hamilton's head, the goalkeeper's totally taken out of the picture. The unguarded goal, it might be a narrow angle, but you always fancied Hamilton to score once he took it around the goalkeeper.
Well, there's the goalkeeper, there's 2 defenders, and Gary Hamilton, he gets in among all 3 of them, and I tell you, that was very, very good play from Gary Hamilton.
Now we have a shamuzzle down below us, and everybody's running to get involved. One Cliftonville player has stayed down. Willow McDonagh, again, the finger of accusation is being pointed at him. The referee is trying to gain control, and this is just what we don't want to see, because it had been a great game of football up until this point.
Yes, it's just one of these where I think Willow's just come over the top a little bit. We'll interested to see it in the monitor here in a moment or two.
There is Willow McDonagh, who, it has to be said, is lucky to still be on the pitch after his first involvement on Conor Downey. Now he does get a yellow card.
He's done well, I think, to escape with a yellow.
Gary Smith having words with Willow McDonagh, as is Paul Lehman, and I think they're trying to say this is going to be very, very difficult. I think he's Big Ian Fleming, the Cliftonville captain, as well, but I think the words coming from Lehman and Smith would be, Willow, we're 1-0 up in a cup final, and it would be much easier to hold on and win this game with 11 men than 10.
Yeah, I think so. The 2 experienced heads there at the back of very quickly sorted this situation out. I see them having a chat down there, and they've got the little message on. Here's it on the monitor. Oh, it's a bad one.
It's 2-footed and it's in the throat.
And the ball is already gone.
Ronan Scannell on the end of that challenge. He's sitting up against Scannell, but he certainly have felt that one. And Willow McDonagh is very fortunate. Well, they're all having a word with him now, aren't they? See Gary Hamilton coming across, Stephen. I think they're just telling him to calm down.
Yeah, you have to settle down in a cup final, and sometimes whenever a tackle flies in like that there, the tempers start rising from different players all around the park, and it's going to be important that here's another altercation going on the pitch now, and Gary Kennedy's got something to say to Willow McDonagh. So, this is the way it works, and it'll put an edge into the game now, and you'll see a few tackles flying in now in the next 10 minutes.
Well, we spoke about the referee. David Malcolm is not a referee who likes to pull cards out. He's only produced 1 red card this season in 11 matches. And I think Willow McDonagh has been, well, he's been severely fortunate that David Malcolm was today's referee and not other referees who maybe would be quicker to pull out a red card. Here it is again, Stephen.
Yeah.
Shocking challenge.
The ball is gone and he's just carried through with a foot. But yes, David Malcolm's a very experienced man, and he'll deal with all this.
Yeah. Davy Malcolm blows the final whistle, and And Glentoran have won the first trophy of the season thanks to that man, Gary Hamilton. Paul Miller wins his first trophy as Glentoran manager. His first game as Glentoran manager was against Cliftonville. He's won his first trophy against Cliftonville, and no wonder he is proud of the man that he brought to the Oval to score goals and to win big games, Gary Hamilton, and that is exactly what he's done today, Stephen.
Well, Gary Hamilton today, as I say, man of the match performance, scores the goal here, and it was just outstanding from start to finish, I felt. And and Paul Miller will be thrilled to have won his first silverware for Glentoran, and you can see the singing and the fans over on the far side now will enjoy this moment.
What a difference 12 months makes. Gary Hamilton, of course, with a winning goal today for Glentoran fans. You had to watch Linfield win the CIS Cup last season, but Paul Miller, the new Glentoran manager, and a new regime, a new era, and maybe the start of something special this season.
Well, he'll feel it, by getting this trophy, that it's now somewhere where they can, the launching pad, if you like, and he's going to now build on this. They're top of the league at this moment in time, and they're working particularly hard to do well. They'll want to compete in all fronts. They'll want to go forward and try and win the County Antrim Shield, and they'll try to emulate everything that Linfield did last year. So you're looking out for a big challenge this year from Linfield and Glentoran.
Special day for Glentoran. They've won the first trophy of the season, and Paul Miller is the happiest man in Windsor Park. It's finished here at Windsor Park. Glentoran 1, Cliftonville 0.
Yeah, you can see the happy faces there. Paul Miller, young manager at a big club. They expect to win trophies at Glentoran. There's the main man, his 17th goal of the season for Gary Hamilton, the only goal of the game. Cliftonville, very good in the first half, had a couple of chances, went close. They think, how did we lose that in many ways? But Glentoran picked it up as Cliftonville, they died a bit in the second half. And at the end of the day, it's 1-0 to Glentoran. And they have won the CIS Cup. That will guarantee them a place in the Setanta Cup next year. And I believe we can, before I talk to Scott Young and Pat McAllister in the studio here, we can hear from the main actor. It's Gary Hamilton. He's with Gavin. Well, we're having a few little gremlins there, but we will get to Gary Hamilton in a moment. But there you can see the joy. Look at those fans in the background. As I said, those fans, they expect to win things. I think that's Paul being interviewed by our radio colleagues. That's Mr. Hammond, Michael Hammond. We can now bring you our own interviews. Now we can hear from Gary. Gavin.
Thanks, Jackie. Yes, we finally got him. Gary, what a day.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Both sets of supporters were excellent today. I thought it was a great game of football. Cliftonville football club played very well today, and they maybe think they were a wee bit unlucky, but at the end of the day, it's all we take chances, and that's what we done today.
What does it mean to you to get in the score sheet and to get a bit of silverware at this stage of the season?
Yeah, it's great because that's 3 domestic cup finals I played in back home, and that's the first one I've managed to score in. It was great to get that win goal, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me who scores the goals. The most important thing is win the trophies for them fans and the manager and the backroom staff. I'd like to give a special mention to Scott Young. Scott Young's been through a lot recently, and it's great. I hope he appreciates that trophy, and also Mark and Danny, he's done his cruciate, and that wins for them boys as much as anybody else.
You come into the club in the summer, it seems like there's a real special team spirit, real special atmosphere at Glentoran.
Team spirit's excellent. Obviously, I can't express how much I'd like to thank Wendy and the boys, the backroom staff, for everything they've done to me. And since I've come here, they've given me the confidence back again. And Kyle Neal will tell you it's excellent down here, and we just want to go on and keep winning trophies.
And personally, you made a big decision to come here in the summer. Seems to have paid off.
Yeah, it's paid off at the minute, but at the end of the day, the big one's the league, and that's what we were going for. Now we'll have to go on and keep winning our league games now, and hopefully win the league at the end of the year as well.
Talk us through the goal. It was one of those kind of instinctive ones, was it?
I think it was a lucky one. I think I made a good run off. Kylie played a great ball through, and I was lucky enough it hit my shoulder. I think if it hadn't hit my shoulder, it was in anyway. But when it hit my shoulder, I went past the goalkeeper, and it was a tap in there. But you have to take them, and they all count.
Hard work, having to hang on. Cliftonville gave a lot today.
Yeah, as I say, Cliftonville are excellent. Addy Patterson's got them playing some stuff. They work hard for each other, and I thought they were excellent today, and they played great football in the middle of the field.
And what about these supporters and the rest of your team?
Yeah, they've been excellent. I tell you, all the boys at Glentoran Football Club are excellent lads, and the supporters have been brilliant from day one since I've come, so it's nice to win a trophy for them as well.
I think you should go over and join them. Cheers, Gary.
Well, Gary Hamilton, he thinks the goal was lucky. Yes, he was a tad lucky, but hey, Gary, they all count, and this one has counted, and it's won the cup final. And Scott Young, who we're watching these scenes here, nice tribute to you there, but what a man he produces on the big occasion.
Brilliant, absolutely different class, you know, and he did produce. In the second half, he always looked dangerous, and I think that Glentoran in the second half, the shape was a lot better, we're a lot tighter in midfield, and with Hamilton up front, you knew we were always dangerous.
And Pat, you can imagine the disappointment in the Cliftonville ranks, because they must be thinking we could have got something out of this.
They'll be gutted, Jackie. I don't think they played as well in the second half as they did the first. I think the big disappointment they'll have is the final ball from set pieces and from open play. They never really created that much chances, and most corners were either overhit or they weren't beating the first man. But Eddie can't fault their work rate, and I thought they played some top-class football.
We can now hear from the Glentoran skipper, Paul Lehman, and Tim McCann's there as well. Gavin, back to you.
Thanks, Jack. Paul, will not keep you too long. It means a lot today.
Yeah, it's great to get the first trophy of the season in the bag, and you know, the first half Cliftonville put us under a lot of pressure, made it very hard for us, but we held it together at the back, and you know, probably lucky to win 1-0 at half time. But I think the second half was with a couple of chances ourselves, and you know, overall we defended well and probably just edged it.
And personally, how is it for you after a difficult year last year?
Yeah, I missed last season and it was hard watching, you know, Linfield cleaning up last year, but we've got the first one in the bag and I think we'll enjoy it tonight.
It's nice to see the fans over there. Have they been a big help?
Yeah, obviously the fans, it was disappointing for them last year, so to get a trophy, they demand trophies every year, and it's nice for us to get one in the cabinet.
A quick word on the manager. He's come in, you've seen before and after. What kind of difference has he made? Yeah,
well, you know, obviously Roy Coyle was a tremendous manager for Glentoran. His record speaks for itself. A lot of respect for Roy, but Paul's come in now, it's a new era, and it's great to see him win his first trophy.
Paul, congratulations, you're the captain. I think you should go and get the trophy. Tim, we'll bring you in here. Yep. Good man. You've been involved in both camps over the years, but now with this Glentoran camp, what is it about this team and this group of players?
I don't know, it's just the same. The Glentoran, you know, even when I was there, you know, we always seem to do well in cup finals. I don't know what it is, whether it's a jinx or a hoodoo or what, but I think, first of all, you got to give credit to both sets of supporters. I thought we were magnificent today. It's a cold day, and second half, I thought that, you know, Paul Miller must have had a word with the Glentoran players at half time, because certainly they certainly steadied the ship at the back. Thought they were very strong at the back, and I think the defence in the end won it for them at the back.
Tim, thanks. We'll leave it there. I think we're going to the presentation.
Thanks a lot. There's the man of the match, the champagne. I'm not sure. Is Gary a drinker? I'm not sure, Pat. Is
I'm sure you'll have a few tonight, Jackie, after scoring that goal today.
I thought he was teetotal, but he might share it with the boys. Well done to Gary Hamilton, CIS Cup Final man of the match. He got the only goal, of course, and it was a good one as well. And he'd be looking for an opener now. But he's a good man. But this is a big boost, isn't it, for Paul?
It's massive. The manager, you know, this was obviously the Irish Cup Final last year, but this was his first final with his signings and his players. And it was a massive, massive result for him. Regardless of how we played, whether we played really well or we didn't, the most important thing was the result. And for Paul to get his first trophy in the cabinet.
And man of the match, Gary, you go along with that, the guy that got the goal. It wasn't an easy game, actually, to pick a man of the match.
No, it wasn't. Jackie, it was a good choice from Stephen Baxter, I think, because the one bit of magic that was shown today was the finish from Hamilton. It wasn't easy, even though he went round the keeper. There was still a lot to do, and he finished it well.
Yeah, well, the presentations are going through. The referee, David Malcolm, and his assistants have got theirs. I think the losers go up next, and then the winners, and then there'll be a great roar from that north stand when Glentoran lift that trophy eventually. Let's go back to describe that to my young friend, Joel Taggart.
Thanks, Jackie. Notice the way they always boo the referee, no matter what sort of a game he has. When he goes up to get his medal, he always gets booed. That's a bitter disappointment for those players, those Cliftonville players, as they go through and collect those runners-up medals. Gave it everything in the first half, but they didn't take the chances when they came along, Stephen, and in the end that was the difference.
I think the second chance that David McAlinden had, the header, that it was maybe 3 or 4 yards out. He should have absolutely buried it, and I think if that had went in, it would have been a different ball game in the second half. But as it turned out, Glentoran killed the game in the second half, brought their midfield, really boxed things off. Back four, nothing was coming through them, and I just felt that Glentoran, maybe at half time, Paul must have had a word and sorted all those little gremlins out, and it snuffed Cliftonville out.
one thing I think we have to say is Eddie Patterson gets his runners-up medal. We haven't heard the last of Cliftonville this season, and they will have a big say in the other trophies and competitions. League Championship, Eddie Patterson is moulding a very exciting and a very good side at Solitude, and Cliftonville are certainly on the way back.
Well, I think so. I think Cliftonville have brought so much to the campaign this year so far. I think that's maybe only their second defeat of the season, and they deserve that.
Gary Smith getting a medal placed around his neck. Through goes Colin Nixon. Remember we were saying about Colin, his 8th League Cup final. That's 4 winners' medals now for him. Kai Neal and Gary Hamilton there at the opposite end of the scale, and young Ryan Berry and Jason Hill, in fact, behind him, and indeed Colin Feeney, all getting their first League Cup winners' medals. Sean Ward, he's experienced a League Cup final before, but it's his first winners' medal. And Willow McDonough, what a day for him, his first success in Irish League football. Michael Halliday, he's enjoyed these moments, of course, before, hasn't he? He has a knack of producing it in cup finals. He didn't score today, but he did his part. And Chris Morgan, he does get his medal, a 6th winners' medal for Chris Morgan, between 3 different clubs, Crusaders, Linfield and Glentoran. Gary Brown going through, Kieran McLaughlin, the substitute goalkeeper, and last but not least, Paul Lehman, the captain. And he's shaking hands with Bobby Jemison there, the chairman of the Premier League. There's the trophy. Paul Lehman has his eye on it, doesn't he? Paul Miller standing behind him, and Paul Lehman, who had to sit and watch last year's final, watched his teammates lose 3-0, will lift the trophy high above his head, and he will be so proud. The captaincy means so much to Paul Lehman. Born and bred in East Belfast, Glentoran supporter, now Glentoran player, Glentoran legend probably whenever he retires. And just listen to the roar from the assembled masses in the North Stand when he eventually lifts it above his head. Glentoran have won the CIS Cup, they've won the first trophy of the season, and they've thrown down the gauntlet, Stephen.
Yeah, I think they're going to take up the mantle now and really run with it this year. You heard Gary Hamilton saying that the league is their focus, but these are moments that the players savour and will treasure the rest of their lives. Great to win a trophy like that there. People like Jason Hill, Willow McDonough, picking up medals maybe for the first time. Young Ryan Berry, it's just tremendous, and they deserved it today because their second half performance was adequate to win the football match.
Well, Gavin Andrews has Eddie Patterson with him. Disappointment for Eddie today. He's speaking to Gavin Andrews down at pitch side.
Yes, thanks, Joel. 2 sides to every cup final. Eddie, how are you feeling?
I'm absolutely gutted for the boys. The best team lost there today. That's the bottom line. They shouldn't be getting those changing rooms with silver medals.
How frustrating was it for you personally, having to sit up there in the stands and watch?
It's frustrating. There's not much I could have asked them to do if I had them on the bench. The football they played was absolutely superb. We missed some great chances. We had the better of the game. And that there, I have to say, I can't understand why Conor Downey didn't get man of the match.
What do you think the difference was today? Just the 1 goal, but do you think it was you played a lot of good football? What was the key?
Well, the key was that they took the chance, the real good chance they had. And saying that, watching it on TV at half time, it was a handball. He controlled it with his arm. But in saying that, they took their chance. We've missed several chances in the first half and several good chances in the second half, and it's all about putting the ball in the net.
Obviously you're disappointed, but Cliftonville at this stage of the season, one of the foreign teams. What does it mean to the club to be at this level?
Well, you play this game to be in situations like this. That's the bottom line. But I can't fault any of those boys at all. They've been absolutely brilliant tonight. Football, to say, we didn't take our chances, and that's what this game's all about.
Eddie, many thanks. I think Paul's here. Thanks for speaking to us. Paul, congratulations. First piece of silverware, how do you feel?
Terrible. Absolutely, I'm delighted. Honestly, it was a real battle. I said before in interviews this week, we've done it the hard way. We've beaten the Blues here, we've beaten Portadown, now we've beaten Cliftonville. Tough game, fair play to them. They battled and they worked so hard. And but I said at the start when I was talking to you yesterday that there was nothing really between the teams, but we also said with a bit of class, up front, and I think that made a difference.
Yeah, was that man Hamilton again, just that little bit of a spark?
Yeah, great finish. He done well. He held the ball up well. Takes a lot of punishment and doesn't moan and groan. Just gets on with it. But I thought today as a cup final, I thought it was an excellent game. I did. I mean, it was both two teams, 22 players, just put everything into it. And there's the lights went out. They wouldn't do that if the Blues were playing, sure they wouldn't.
Absolutely. Was it a day when Glentoran really had to show some character?
I don't know about that. I mean, because I feel we've been showing character all year. You know, I was amazed at a lot of sort of so-called experts weren't giving us a chance, and certain people were saying that Cliftonville would be hungrier than we would be. I couldn't understand it. We've only lost one game all season, and as I say, our boys have been, their character and their attitude all season has been magnificent. They're a joy to work with.
We've spoken to Gary, we've spoken to Paul Lehman. It seems there's a real special kind of team spirit this year.
Well, there is a good... I mean, I'd done an interview before and I'd said every one of our players, not just the 11 that played, the 18 we have in the squad or 20 we have in the squad, they all want to play for the Glens and they all want the Glens to do well. I want to go over and join the celebrations here. Can I go?
I think you deserve it. Congratulations, good man.
Well, they're in full voice and there'll be celebrations in East Belfast, and that man has given them the reason to celebrate with the goal. 33 minutes, and what a good goal it was. Gary Hamilton, he's on fire this season. He's the man for the big occasion. He has played at international level, of course, all sorts of experience. He wasn't too happy last year, it seemed, at Portadown. I think he only got 12 goals. Today brought him up to 17 for this season. He's playing well. He wants to play for that man there, Paul Miller, who brought him to the Oval. It's a new lease of life, and there's Paul Lehman and Scott. Just looking at that there, Leaper as he's known. What a great pro.
He missed so much last season, and you know, the bad disc in his shoulder, and he's come back this season. And it's no coincidence that we're doing so well with him back in the team. And being an East Belfast boy, it means the world for him to win trophies with Glentoran.